Hi all, so this is the introductory video for General Chemistry 3. My name is Dr. Lee West, and so General Chemistry 3 is the final class in the General Chemistry sequence. So once you finish this class, you will be ready to go with Organic Chemistry if you so desire. So General Chemistry 3 is normally taken by people who are interested in becoming scientists or engineers, and it's also taken by people who have an interest in becoming vets, dentists, or medical doctors. It's also, I guess, sometimes taken just by people for fun, and that's okay. But yeah, that's why you might want to take General Chemistry 3. So the next thing I'm going to do is just go through some of my contact details and a little bit of information about the class. So as I mentioned, my name is Lee West. You can call me either Dr. West or just plain old Lee, whatever makes you the happiest. I have a physical office in the Library and Science Building, room 131. You probably aren't going to be visiting that because this is a fully online class. You can phone and if you like leave a message on this number here and I'll get back to you. So some people really like to talk on the phone rather than Zoom, and that's okay. This is my email here. You can send me a message via either email or through Canvas messaging. I find that with attachments, that if you use a legitimate email account, it tends to work better. Sometimes Canvas doesn't like large attachments. So if you want to send me a file, maybe try email rather than Canvas messaging. And the other thing to be aware of with email is that we do have spam filters and things like that. So it's always best to email your profs using a legitimate Pierce College email address. Every day at 11:30 until 12:30, I'll be having office hours via Zoom, and then on Wednesdays at 2 o'clock, I'll be having some question and answer sessions where I'll be doing two things. One is taking questions from students, but also I'll be working through a whole bunch of questions for Chemistry 163. So the Wednesday sessions are specific for Chemistry 163, and the daily office hours are sort of like a free-for-all. So you know, if you can attend one or both of those sessions, it can be helpful. I will record the Wednesday sessions unless people have objections to that, which they normally don't. We'll be using the OpenStax chemistry textbook, and that's available free of charge from this website, and there's details about that on Canvas and in the syllabus. You will be needing a calculator of some type, a scientific calculator. If you don't have a scientific calculator, you can use a website like Desmos or Wolfram Alpha. Another alternative to purchasing a calculator would be to download an emulator for a calculator to your computer or to your phone. And one example would be the Wabbit emulator, and that works just like a calculator. You will need to purchase access to the Alex system. If you just go to www.alex.com, you can do that there, and you'll need this 10 character course code to make sure you end up in the correct course. Now, if you'll need that from week 1, and that might be a bit of a surprise for you, but it's okay. I sent out a financial aid access code, and you can use that to gain access for 2 weeks for free. And then when you have the money, you can purchase access for Alex. It's about $40 a quarter for Alex, so that's what you want to keep in mind there. Okay, so this course is a fully online asynchronous class, which means that we don't meet at any specified times. There's not events that you have to turn up for, and the course is built around modules with one module to be completed each week. So it's tempting to jump to the assignments within these modules and trying to figure them out straight away from there, but I'd encourage you not to do that. What I would encourage you to do first is to make sure you watch the video lectures that I record, and also complete the assigned readings before you jump in with the the assignments. Otherwise, you kind of tend to get really frustrated, and the assignments end up taking you a lot longer than what they should. So every week I'll be giving you assigned readings from the textbook, and my expectation is that you make Cornell notes of those readings, take a photo of those, save it as a PDF, and then upload it to Canvas. Now I've got instructions on Canvas about how to create these PDF files, so that should be relatively straightforward to figure out. And I've also got instructions on Canvas about how to write notes in the Cornell format. Again, it's pretty straightforward. This stuff, it might seem a little overwhelming to begin with, but I promise you, once you look at it, you'll realize that it's actually fairly easy to do. And the notes are due at midnight Tuesday each week. Every week you'll get a bunch of homework problems to do. It's around about 10 topics per week, and you need to do 3 questions per topic. So, you want to be counting on doing around about 30 questions a week. Sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little less. You can look, like how many problems are assigned for the week. Each Monday, you just look in the module, and then go to Alex, it'll tell you how many topics are assigned for that week. If you just divide that number by 5, then that's the number of topics that you should be trying to get done every day. And the objectives need to be completed by midnight on Fridays. So keep that in mind. Now be aware that you're not really going to be able to get help if you leave everything until after 5 p.m. on Fridays. So the best practice is to do a little bit every day, and when you get stuck, seek help. The advantage as well of doing a little bit every day is if for some reason you get busy near the end of the week, you won't ever get a 0. Most weeks we have a lab assignment that will be given via Canvas. We typically have 7 or 8 labs for Chemistry 163, and labs need to be completed by midnight on Friday as well, and they're normally submitted to Canvas as a file upload. Again, normally a PDF that you'll be uploading. So what I always suggest to people is try and get a draft to me before you submit your lab. That's quite important. And try and get that in, well before close of business on Friday, because otherwise I'm not going to have a chance to look at it, am I? So, if you can get that in, Wednesday, Thursday, then I'm going to be able to give you some solid feedback on it. If you get it in at sort of like 4:50 on Friday, you're going to get some pretty bad feedback because, I'm ready to check out for the weekend. Okay, so just, be mindful of that. We typically will have a quiz every week, and the quizzes are administered through the Alex system. We don't have quizzes when we have tests. The quizzes are due at midnight on Sunday, so if you want, you can spend your weekend preparing for it. And in addition to completing the questions on Alex, I'm going to ask, and this is really important for Chemistry 163, that you write out the work that you do for each question neatly in an organized fashion, and then take a photo of that work for your whole quiz, save it as a PDF, and upload it to Alex. And that is basically compulsory for Chemistry 163, because a lot of our problems, it's almost certain that mathematically you will get the wrong answer, but you will have done most of the work correctly, and partial credit becomes very important. So it is critical for Chemistry 163 that you learn to set your work out neatly and show me that you know what's going on, because it is hard to get the correct numerical answer for the type of stuff that we're going to be doing. All right, we have tests about every 3 weeks, and so they typically cover the content of 2 or 3 modules. Tests will be have a due date of Sunday at midnight as well, and the same kind of deal. You'll complete them on Alex, but you'll also upload your work to Canvas. So yeah, you're going to get into you just want to get into the habit of doing that. on the Wednesday of finals week, I think it's Wednesday the 16th of June, check the syllabus for that exact day, we'll have our final exam. The final exam, again, same deal as all of our other tests. It's going to be, the questions are going to be answered in Alex, and you'll upload your work to Canvas as a PDF. The final exam covers the entire quarter's work. So kind of like thinking about the structure of each module and why the modules are put together the way they are, this is what's kind of going on. This is sort of like what you should have in the back of your mind as you're working through each module. The first part of the week is all about reviewing the content. So you're going to be watching video lectures and you're going to be reading the book. So you're just kind of like getting a feel for the content, right? And you're also thinking about the materials that you might want to have at hand as you're working through the assessments later on in the week. So by Tuesday, you're kind of done with that. You got a feel for the content. Tuesday midnight, Wednesday morning, you're ready to start doing stuff. You're ready to start getting your lab worked out, and you're ready to start doing your homework. So the second part of the week, you're going to be practicing applying the content. It's pretty low stakes at this point because you're not doing any timed testing. The homework, you can attempt every question as many times as you want. You can get outside help from the tutoring center on homework problems. You can get outside help from me on homework problems. You can submit drafts of your labs to me. There's lots of opportunity to get help as you're practicing applying the content. But we're going to wrap that up Friday, right? So, Wednesday through Friday is kind of when you're meant to be practicing applying the content. And then you have to do, an assessment, right? You have to be assessed in some way. So that's a little more challenging. And in our case, how you're going to be assessed is by doing timed quizzes and tests, right? So what's different about the quizzes and tests is you only get one opportunity to submit your answer. You can't repeat answering each question as many times as you want. And also the quizzes and tests are timed. Now, because it's an online class though, they are open notes. So getting these good notes back here and paying attention to the resources that you're using as you're working through the objectives in the labs, getting all of those data tables and formula sheets and all of that stuff compiled, and also getting example problems sort of worked out and having those at hand is going to be really, really helpful for when it comes time to do these timed quizzes and tests. So what I see again and again and again is that the thing that really helps students out the most is when they have good time management, and in particular when they do a little bit of work every day, and also when they have a solid plan for the week. So if a student knows that they've got an event on Saturday, they've planned for that. If somebody knows that they've got sport going on, Monday and Tuesday, they've made accommodations for that themselves, so that they don't miss assignments, so they don't get caught out, right? So being sort of, even if it's just a loose sort of like mentally, you've scheduled out your week, or whether you use a planner or whatever it might be, having a plan for the week really, really, really helps. Okay, well, that's pretty much all I've got, and if you have any difficulties, please just reach out to me via either a Canvas message or an email, and if you want, please drop by for office hours, and I'll be glad to help you out any way I can.